Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joining me in the studio once again, he could be a CIA program sleeper agent or just my co-host. It's Mr. Manchurian Taylor.
Oh, Manchurian Man is here.
He's definitely been programmed. Welcome back for another episode of the show.
Welcome, one and all.
Thank you, new listeners and repeat offenders, for joining us for another week.
Yeah.
It's been a mint week.
It's been a nice week.
It's been a beautiful week
nice
weather-wise.
And
it's been 420.
Yes,
this
420's been this week,
However you've celebrated that.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of stories.
We have.
Coming up a bit later on in the show.
Indeed.
I feel like I'm losing my voice today.
Might be. You're not coming down
what
without,
I mean?
are you?
Already. I don't know. You've probably given me whatever it is.
Don't say never give you down.
We've got an interesting show this week. It's something we don't really normally cover, but it is a conspiracy or an urban legend all the same. This week we're going to be talking about a computer game urban legend. A game had very limited release. Just one or two arcade cabinets were said to exist in the suburbs of Portland. Yes. It's a strange story. It's actually got links to some kids who played it. Actually got amnesia. I mean, how did they know they played it?
Well,
we'll get into it.
Questions.
They couldn't remember the names or even where they lived.
Yeah.
So how would you know?
Right.
Somebody must have seen them and went, yeah, they were playing that game, and then
they're probably local kids, aren't they?
We'll be looking into it a bit later on. The game in question is Polybius.
Polybius, yes.
Polybius, it's a big urban legend in the games community. We'll be having a look, taking a bit of a fresh take,
perhaps.
Perhaps.
Dive in there, yeah.
Oh yes.
Yes. Get some.
What's going on at all? It was a beautiful day. Thank you for telling us. I don't know who that was.
Yeah. Let's hope it's another beautiful day tomorrow.
It's a beautiful day. But
been a bit windy, though.
Whatever the day's been, how's your week been, Mr. Taylor? Actually, firstly, I actually ask you a question.
All right.
Have you ever had any times when you've been influenced by a video game?
You mean like some fools who like to watch Grand Theft Auto and like blame it on that kind of shit?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
There is actually a condition.
Hitman.
There is actually a condition related to GTA.
Yeah.
And it is very much like that. It's the idea that because you become so desensitized in that environment, in that world, that you kind of carry that over into the real world and think that it's acceptable behaviour.
Well, we're heading in that direction.
I'll be genuinely honest, because that actually has happened. I mean, not that I would say act upon those ideas, but there was a point where I'd been playing a lot of GTA, and I was walking home from somewhere and I thought, well, in the game, what would you do in that situation? You just literally take someone's car. Yeah. And that idea popped in my head in the real world and went, that'd get me on well faster. But obviously you couldn't do it because the law.
Yeah.
But is that an influence directly from a computer game? I'd say, to an extent.
I'd say, and I'd say...
not trying to killjoy or anything, but there is a lot of people who do say violence in video games, blah.
And depending how this, megaverse pulls off.
Oh, the metaverse.
Yeah,
even.
You know what I mean? We're going in that direction where there's going to be a conflict of, is it reality or is it not? Which they know that it's coming up, but they need to put something in the way to make sure that, you realise you're in a game, or you realise you're actually in real life. Like
the story we're going to be covering tonight, is it influencing people to act in a different way, not just on games, but in real life? It's an interesting topic.
Yeah, but you've got stuff like movies, music, everything like that as well.
This is
they
the
all
thing.
do it.
I mean, this is obviously the late 70s, early 80s, 1981, when this story originated from.
Yeah.
The CIA in MK Ultra were kind of running experiments even earlier than that on people in the States.
And more than likely doing it today.
We'll be getting into it a bit more. We'll answer all these questions and more.
Yes.
I guarantee that.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So would you say you have been influenced?
I'd say I would have been influenced in little, probably mini ways. I fancy an ice cream.
It's like that in Futurama when he's like, I'm not influenced in any way, and then he's like, he's just like drinking Slurm, wasn't it? And he's also automatically addicted to Slurm, or he's having those dreams where it's like an advert pumped into your mind while you're asleep.
Well, these are the
loads
things
of ways. I mean, we said the Manchurian Candidate at the big top of the show.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a way.
He
wanted
the super soldiers, don't they? Anyway. Yeah, they want that man or woman to be sent to somewhere and just do the job and then walk back and nothing.
I think we're getting way ahead of ourselves
we are.
here. Well, like I say, it's been 420 this week. So, like I say, it's been a lot of celebrations.
Yeah, so I mean,
the way I see it is it's supposed to be a kind of a peace and love sort of
65
celebration.
Yeah.
But there's been loads of accounts of like it kicking off, people getting into fights and scraps and stuff.
See,
where'd that come from? I mean,
I'll call it being introduced as well.
Potentially. I mean, we'd love to know how you celebrated 420 if you did at all. Let us know. It'd be interesting. Because it's usually a big celebration at Platfields Park in Manchester.
Did it kick off?
It didn't actually happen, as far as I know, unless it was people just went there impromptu. But like normally they have an event about it, but like no, I'm not sure that it actually happened.
I reckon quite a few people turned up there. If you did, give us a message. Tell us, did it actually entertain you, and did you have a good day?
Did you have a nice time?
Yeah.
What was going to say? So we was talking about that Tim Hortons last week. But like everyone's been like that. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Like, I've had more comments about that comment I had.
Yeah, than anything else.
But yeah. So we I love it now. Anyway, if Tim Hortons wants to sponsor us, you get on us. I'll do it for pancakes and lattes
or anyone else.
That's it. That's pretty much me this week. I've been on a few bike rides and stuff. Been getting into my mountain biking. Obviously, we'll get more. So, but other than that, we're available on Red Wall Radio from 9 p.m. on Thursday.
It's Thursdays, yes. Sometimes a Wednesday, but Thursdays we're generally there.
Oh, no, 8 p.m. on Thursdays. I do apologise, but we are there. So make sure you tune in. Red Wall Radio, they've got some great music selections, some great DJs and stuff. Some awesome shows. Like us.
Yes.
So why not check them out? They're available at Red Wall Radio. If you Google them, you'll find them. Anything else you've been doing this week that's kind of made you think, chuckle, or just put you in a good mood?
I was talking with you about this before, about Putin and his leadership. I was watching.
I don't want to know.
I'm not going to go into it, but I was because there's long stretches of it. But I've just basically been looking into Russia and what they've been up to for their parliaments and stuff like that.
Basically,
the last 20 years.
It's how Putin's been how he's managed to stay in power for all this time, isn't it? Really? But, these
and who should take over his place?
It's a dodgy situation.
Like
They're totally dodgy.
They did have a good man there, but he was only there for 5 years and he was under control there anyway. But I think they should bring him back in, to be honest, if they win the next election, which they probably will.
Well, do you think he's going to give up power now, Putin? I don't think so.
It's the end for a minute, really.
Well, this is the end.
Yeah.
Right, well, going on with the show.
Yeah.
This week is in association with HelloFresh UK.
Oh, fresh.
Yes. They're good offer. They had a good offer of 60% off.
They did, Is it still on?
No, it's finished now.
Oh, is it finished? See?
It finished on the 20th of April.
Well, we did advertise it.
We still do have a pretty good offer. Can't argue. Do you know what I mean? It's like 50% off.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Not 60, but you know what I mean.
It's better than anything, especially in this day and age at the minute with problems with money and that.
Well,
you can get 50% extra on it. Bam.
Yeah, 50% off your first box, 20% off your second, third and fourth. Spend less time shopping and cut down on food waste whilst enjoying delicious meals every week.
Yum, yum.
HelloFresh is a rolling weekly meal kit delivery service with no minimum term. You can choose what you get in the box and when you want it. It's all delivered fresh and you get fresh ingredients to your door.
You can, indeed.
What do you want?
You don't need much more than that, do you?
And if you want to skip a week, cancel or change anything, it's not a problem.
Nope.
I've seen a lot of people eating the HelloFresh.
Yeah,
it's very popular at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, you might want to get on that. There'll be a link in the description with a code. So make sure you go and do that.
Go and get that deal while you can.
Oh, my voice today is going on. Maybe I'm a bit tired, but
probably
we're going to dive into this anyway, aren't we? This topic. Now we've got over all the bump.
Yes.
Do you know why? But the opening of the show, you've got to kind of do all that stuff before you can move on in it.
Yeah.
Well, I say, the story of Polybius is quite an interesting one because, like I say, it's linked to the CIA. They supposedly be responsible for introducing it. So, you know, my experience in researching on the CIA is pretty shady. You know, they were up to all sorts. Whatever they could do to kind of manipulate or kind of, you know,
got to be the shadiest group out of the world.
The most illegal government agency ever. Yeah, right.
Still doing it to this day.
And you've got to wonder what sort of things they're doing today.
Yeah, if you can think it, they've probably done it.
If the stuff of the past's anything to go by.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dirty, dodgy.
Are the CIA still operating as the CIA?
Yeah. But they always say, don't they, they're under different management. Yeah, because you've had a clear out, but no one got done or anything like that for massive drugs, weapons that actually kill secretly, and all these other dodgy stuff that the agent's been up to, which it's out there. Everyone knows, you know what I mean? It's out there, so they can't deny it. But they still, to this day, persist and carry on doing what they're doing.
This is it. There's a lot of files that have kind of gone now to the point where we're allowed to see them. Yeah. And, it shows all the shady acts they did. Yeah. Especially with stuff like MK Ultra.
Totally.
Acid tests.
Yeah, totally.
Just experimentation. So this kind of makes me think this could be legit.
Yeah.
The story actually talks about a new arcade machine that appeared in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon in 1981.
Yeah.
Something of a bit of a rare thing at the time. It apparently was really popular.
Yeah.
To the point of addiction.
Yeah.
With lines forming for the machine around the block. People often basically fighting over who could play next.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was like that with some arcade games anyway.
Yeah, but they
Do you know what I mean? If you've got no, when
you get the odd, decent one,
favorite that everybody wants to play, like Donkey. How many arcade boxes of Donkey Kong did any arcade have? They probably have one or two.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, because you wouldn't really have a group of them, would you? Back in the day, it was like, hey, right, I like this game. I'm putting that game machine in, done. Next one, game machine. They're all totally different, so everything was different. So you only had the choice of who wasn't playing on there at the time, and you had enough money.
Well, obviously, we have video game warnings now, don't we?
Yeah.
Like where it'll say, this game might contain flashing images. If you are epileptic or photosensitive, then this game is probably not for you. You might need to maybe give this one a miss.
Bit of a caution.
Yeah. Like, they're not saying don't play it. It's cautionary, isn't it? Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
The chances are they are going to play it at one point or another anyway.
So, but this game in particular, obviously this was before all those.
Yeah.
And was...
like 40 years ago,
Yeah, players were supposedly suffering from a series of side effects, including seizures, amnesia, insomnia, night terrors, and hallucinations.
Yeah. And quite a few afflictions that, it's down to the mental part. It's really affecting.
So these all started as well, apparently 1 month after its supposed release date in 1981. And Polybius is said to be the cause of all this... drama with these children.
Yeah, well, he was only there when I heard reports it was there for a month, but I've also heard that it was there for a couple of months, and there was some strange things happening around it, as in people coming in, and let's say Men in Black coming in.
The Men in Black were coming and taking data.
Yeah. for getting the money, which straight away that makes you think, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? It's
what, instead of emptying out the quarter rack, trying to get the dough.
That's a part of your job, isn't it?
Yeah, but that would be the arcade owner's job. And I think if you were CIA, would you be more bothered about trying to kind of see what data you've gathered off these kids playing these games?
Because, but it makes you more suspicious if you're not going in there to do the collection.
It's like
you're doing something else
it's like
in
that,
there. So
that
it makes
film,
you
the last Starfighter.
Yes,
where an arcade game appears and this kid becomes like really obsessed with it, wants to beat all the high scores, and when he does, he's approached by aliens because it's like, hey kid, we like you, Maxi. You've got the goods. You're the last Starfighter, and they recruit him to fight in an intergalactic war.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, do you think this is what the CIA were trying to do? Like, you know, in the terms of super soldiers, trying to find people with enhanced hand-to-eye coordination, maybe challenging them a bit more with this kind of game that obviously caused seizures with a lot of people, but you know, is there anybody out there who could handle it, or, you know, maybe even brainwash them?
Well, there's a game called Polyplay, which was supposedly connected as well, which was
well, it's already got the poly there.
Didn't
you say you found out what the Polybius means? Like, it's Greek, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually an old Greek philosopher who lived around 2008 BC. And he supposedly is like mantra kind of thing, is puzzles, and that you got to ask questions and investigate to find out information. That was his main thing.
Now, there's not a lot known about the game itself.
No.
And there's been a lot of variations brought out over the years in terms of people's takes on them. And you were brought this one up, but what this made me kind of think in terms of the Polyplay game that was, like you say, released in 1985.
The film was brought out in 1984.
So there was a film as well accompanying it?
Well, no, the film connected to it was The Last Starfighter.
Which influenced the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is interesting because it's obviously got that Poly title, right?
Yeah. And didn't you say they're remaking The Last Starfighter?
They are doing a remake of Last Starfighter.
Which makes me think there as well.
But like I say, it's interesting because you've got an arcade game is the beta test, you know, and then that's 1981.
Yes.
You throw a few of these cabinets out to see what the reaction is. Oh, great, we're getting some sort of reaction. It's doing something. These kids still having fucking hallucinations and amnesia and don't even remember the names. Yeah. So obviously it's working, whatever it is we're doing. Let's fine-tune it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then once computers are integrating people's homes in terms of, like, you know...
Right, we got full control of your baby.
We've got a Commodore 64 now, and people are gaming in the homes rather than... at an arcade.
Can't go away because
how many, like we said earlier, people are queuing up round the block. It's a slow process. Fucking mind pickling one person at a time, 1 quarter at a time. Now you can do it at mass in people's homes.
Billions of people at once.
So, do you think that this Polyplay is the home version of this original Polybius? Do you know who the company that made it by any chance? Because the company that was apparently responsible for making the cabinets,
didn't they disappear?
They were called I'm not going to be able to say this. Phoenicians. Phoenicians or something like that. I think it's that.
Yeah, because go on.
SINNESI with an IO with an umlaut, SCHEN.
See, because didn't the company disappear as well? Because someone tried to investigate it, and
they were German.
Fast as they come up, they went.
But yeah, they were obviously...
They weren't German. We know it's just a German name to try and put him off.
Yeah, but what I mean is it was difficult to trace because at that time it wasn't really good like that, you know, in terms of like sharing.
It's easier now.
Sharing's caring, guys.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of, if you know the right people, easier now to find and track things than you used to. So it's, in one way, it's a benefit now that we can actually track some of this.
Yeah, so you were saying it's a Greek historian and philosopher who the name Polybius. He's known for history really.
And do you know he was born in Arcadia?
Yes, in Arcadia.
Yeah, which I thought was funny as well.
Why? Oh, because it's arcade. Yes, that is actually, that's total CIA, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's always them little sneaky words.
So, the CIA in terms of getting away with things. Yeah. Like, what sort of data do you think that they're gathering from that? Because they were looking for, like we said earlier, the super soldiers, these sort of heightened individuals. That's what The Last Starfight is about. Yeah. Trying to find the guy who's just the best of the best. Yeah. Do you think that was in pursuit of the Manchurian Candidate, this perfect specimen that they could, manipulate? A bit like Bucky Barnes in The Winter Soldier. Do you know, like...
Yeah. I believe that they are, and still persistent to this day, to find that certain something, that special kind of person who can actually do a lot of stuff without a lot of reaction.
So, I mean, the cabinet, it's never really been found or discovered as a legit thing, has it, though?
Oh yeah,
I mean, the evidence,
a lot of trace has been knocked away.
So let's look at it in the sense that this was a hoax. Yeah, if this was potentially a hoax or an urban legend, right? Okay. Because let's face it, that's what it's known as, an urban legend, right? So why would this sort of idea? I mean, who could think up this idea, bring out the idea of a games cabinet? I'm not looking for names, but I'm looking at why would this reason? What's the reason
behind the program that was put in there?
What's the reason behind the urban legend? Do you know why would that come about if there wasn't any truth in it, or if these people who claimed to played it in 1981,
and if there was queues of people,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, could it be a case of misremembering in the sense that, that it was a different game and they just go, no, I remember playing it. It was that, definitely, because the urban legends now come about. Yeah. And they go, oh, maybe that was the game. Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah. And, we're misremembering sort of situation. Or is it a legit thing that they did actually play and they remember playing?
I think they legitimately played it because there's actually a company out there who actually remade it, as people were saying how the game was.
Well, this is the thing, because there were two other games that came out, one for PC, and I think that was in 2007. Yeah. And also another one that came out in 2017 for the PlayStation 4.
That's right, but then it had to be re.
That was actually VR, right? That was kind of based at VR sort of sense, and that was called Polybius. But again, they said that was nothing to do or nothing like the gameplay from the original game. It was just a name they give it. Well, maybe just because they thought they could sell more units because of the name.
Well, yeah, that could be. But then you've got to also consider, if you've got a code word for something and you've got a long term and it's going to have long term effects, and it gets caught out, or they put it away, hid it away for a while, and then decided, right, I'm bringing it out, but it's not like the original, it's totally different, but within it, they've got the better code.
Oh yeah, of course.
So it's still carrying on.
Well, this is it, isn't it? It's when you do anything in terms of programming or anything like that. Yeah. You put out a beta.
After 40 years
you do a bug
test.
With it. You get people, having a look at it.
Yeah, and there's going to be people who have proper experimentation.
Yeah, of course. You do lab experiments and then you try it in the field.
Probably soldiers.
Right? So if that was the field test where they're putting it out in Oregon to see what happens, where everyday kids playing this game, how would they react, right? Yeah. They all start having fits. They got, like I said earlier, it is obviously doing something. Yeah, we just need to refine it. A couple of years later, another version comes out under a similar name, but it's the home version. Everybody's playing it at home, or a lot more people are playing it at once. Yeah. Maybe you can get data from that. Then again, though, the Men in Black are coming and collecting data from the cabinets. How would they gain that data from, at the time,
video reactions?
Yeah, but it's untethered. It's not on the internet. It's basically those machines.
Well, and
at that
videos
time,
would have been bigger and stuff as well.
You know, unless they had a product that they knew would work and put out to the public without having to collect that data again.
They have alien tech. That'd be what it is. Alien tech. This little thing could censor everything.
Well, it was the Men in Black. So potentially who are apparently were going and collecting this data. I mean, it's known as the video game of death because people did have like seizures. Did anyone die actually?
No.
I mean, you can't call it the video game of death unless actually somebody did.
That's true.
You know.
But there was apparently it looks like there was a strong connection with, well, CIA was well known for messing around with LSD. Now, setting up, like lights and the way the screen puts to actually
totally
open it for your mind and actually have the same reaction to actually make that chemical or create that chemical in a certain reaction in your brain.
It's like manipulating neural pathways and stuff. But they were all about manipulating the mind, really, weren't they? It's like we've looked at in the LSD stuff, MK Ultra especially. There was another story, wasn't there, about these the CIA putting out temporary tattoos for kids.
Oh, yes.
And it was basically like LSD, and these kids were licking stick tattoos. So you're licking the tattoo, putting it on, and it's basically an LSD tab.
Yeah.
And these went out into circulation
to see what the reaction.
The only people who were, basically had major control over LSD supplies at the time was the CIA.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Pretty much since the 60s, I mean, they were making it by the bucket load.
Yeah, hell yeah. They were treating
have a bit of this.
So weed.
There was a lot of people in the CIA though who were heavily on it themselves because they tested it on themselves.
Well, now most businessmen and women are microdosing.
Oh, microdosing.
And you're basically, you're doing roughly that kind of thing.
Opening your mind.
Yeah, so you're actually... Obviously, it works in certain aspects of it, but
but that's it. Not taking the amount that the CIA were kind of forcing people to take.
If they want to see what the after effects and how far they can go to be able to control you to do what they want you to do, basically. So it's just one of them another crazy ideas that like you'd think it was fiction, but it's actually facts that's going on like. Daily.
Well, I mean, in terms of behavior modification, they were supposed to be, like you say there, in terms of like lights and certain triggers, or algorithms, if you like, that were developed by the CIA, which were more effective on children.
High frequencies,
So, really, they'd want to test that. I think they would. To be honest.
Well, to be honest, I've got a good example for that one.
Go on.
There was a game called Labyrinth Town, which was on Game Boy, and it was actually to do with Pokemons. When they died, it was like their death town.
Right, okay.
But the thing was, the Pokemon game that come out, I think 2010, which was actually, where you walk around. Yeah, where you walk around and, take photos in parks or people's houses and shit like that.
Trespassing.
Yeah, well, that's actually CIA's. That's actually...
Oh, yeah, it was linked to the CIA. Angry Birds as well, apparently, was.
Yeah.
Now, so it does go to show that they are still looking at
There's a lot of connections with the words and the same games.
It's all about behaviours, isn't it? And it's like checking out how you're... you respond to certain situations, I suppose. I mean, there's a lot of data that they can glean from this sort of stuff. And like you said earlier about the metaverse, this is the type of shit you're letting yourself be exposed to. And you think that the amount of data that they can get off you now, by being on Facebook and Instagram is a lot. Then just wait until you're actually living in a virtual world where they can study your virtual habits
walking, talking, breathing.
They can literally kind of target everything at you based on what time you do things, what time you know.
Would you really want to know all that about yourself?
Seriously, because at the end of the day, an anonymous internet user could be sat there in any make of clothing. Yeah. But if I'm walking a virtual world wearing Adidas tracksuits or whatever, then they're going to be like, he likes Adidas. Yeah. I didn't have to tell them that I'm wearing anything, but they can see that data. Yeah. And like I've said earlier, I mean, meta, it means data, like, you know, information, hidden data, metadata, hidden data, basically, and that's what they want to mine. Well,
this Lavender Town was only on Game Boy, and they brought out a Pokemon package, Red and Green. And then reports were coming in that children were committing suicide in Japan.
Really?
Yeah, loads of them apparently. And it was all down to the actual music.
Right. So the tones and the actual melody was making people
high
lose
frequency, so kids were
subliminal messaging, isn't it? So it's some sort of kind of hidden.
It's kind of a repeating kind of.
Now it makes me think of all that backwards masking stuff. Do you know, like we were talking about in a previous episode?
Yeah.
And the Beatles did a lot of backward masking, and a lot of other bands. It was quite popular in the 70s.
Didn't AC/DC?
A few people did it, but they'd all hide messages in it and stuff. And like, you know, it's fun. Play the record
one
back,
of them did the Lord's
backwards.
Prayer backwards or something.
Well, some of them are just like not even got anything in them, but like people like to try and kind of pretend. But you know, this idea of kind of trying to subliminally influence people without them realizing it is one of those kind of, it is a thing that works, and they know it does because that's why it's illegal in broadcasting. You cannot advertise a product and then have subliminal messaging in an advert or a TV program, because...
But then that's down to the different kinds of the laws, actually, that you can actually bypass.
Well, no, there is, because product placement... Yeah, you'll see now in England especially that they'll put a P in the corner of a program when it's about to start.
That's right.
And that means that they've got products that they've been paid to have on set. Yeah. So if you're watching, say, The One Show or something like that, or
see a McDonald's wrapper on the side, or
it'll be appliances or stuff like that. Yeah. Do you know, like, or Saturday Kitchen or something like that, and they'll be using a blender. Yeah, they potentially they could have been paid to use their specific blender. Yeah. Because chances are someone watching might think, oh, I need a blender.
That's a nice
What
one.
are they using?
Yeah,
totally. And that's a product placement, right? Now, you know, that's a subliminal thing because they're kind of trying to manipulate you into... They're putting their product in front of your face and trying to influence you to buy it.
And telling you as well beforehand.
Yeah, and they do tell you, but that's only a legal requirement in this country. Yeah. So, you know, do other countries have the same law? Do they have to do that? Do they even have the same law of subliminal messaging? And in this day and age where we can access media on the internet from other countries using VPNs and whatnot, are we exposing ourselves to these types of subliminal messaging from countries that don't have the same laws as we do in this country?
Surprisingly, a lot of the countries don't have the same laws, and they're quite different, and with the laws that are being put place, even the hard laws, people are still getting through. Companies are still getting the things through. And you can see it like everywhere. Every day you wake up, everything you look at
again as well. I mean, are
kind
of things like YouTube taking on board this subliminal messaging, the idea of I mean, it's their whole racket. It's their whole racket, really, isn't it? Selling adverts, like you know, they're pushing like 5 adverts a video at you.
But that's like Twitter, Facebook. You got all these like companies. Whatever you do, you're always getting something either thrown at you or subliminally, telling you to like going to the cinema and, you got to have popcorn, you've got to have fucking this, that and the other, the chocolates, got to buy all your mates all the beers and all that shit, you know what I mean? Every day you get a subliminal message without you realising it.
Yeah. Well, going back to Polybius, You know, the bottom line is no one's ever really found it. No one's ever seen it. There's never been any articles about it. There's,
disappeared.
That is a big issue, really, isn't it? I mean, although it's gained traction in popular culture as being a bit of a myth, a bit of a mythical creature in terms of gaming, that Polybius could exist, and it is out there somewhere. I mean, it's shown up in some random places. You watched Loki, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And obviously, they've got that time variance agents there. I think, and then there was, and they sent him to a planet where lots of things get lost and stuff. It was a bit like the other planet that he got sent to, Sakaar or whatever.
Yeah.
In the Thor movie.
Yeah.
Right, where things get lost, end up. Yeah. Or it's a mishmash of loads of different what if universes
with the devil's anus.
With the devil's anus, right. So that's the Thor one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but he meets all of his other Loki friends there, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, in the background, there's a Polybius Games arcade machine, to suggest that it does exist, and there's one in an alternate reality where it can maybe survived. One survived, maybe. I don't know.
And there's one in The Simpsons as well.
The Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
It was called Please Don't Harm Them, Homer.
Okay, what's that about?
Well, it was actually, it had that game in there, and it also had a stamp on the game saying property of the US government when... Bart was in the arcade. He weren't playing that one, but he was he was right next to him, and it had it all over.
Well, Ernest Cline's novel Armada is heavily based on Polybius and the similar urban legends. Ernest Cline, if you don't know, is the author of Ready Player One.
Yeah, I was going to watch that the other night.
Really good film. A really good book. I think the book smokes the film, by a long way. And the sequel's pretty good too.
Oh, definitely worth
a look. But Armada is pretty much based on Polybius. So it does show up a lot in popular culture.
But there was a lot of to and froing, because don't forget, we had that big famous game that come out, and we found out later on in the 90s that it was actually spy equipment, which was Tetris. Tetris was being used by Russian
Can't have anything,
spies.
Can you? Snake on your Nokia 3210.
Snake was involved in something as well. Yeah. So you can never really tell.
Now, it is interesting to think now that the military actually use game console controllers for controlling certain pieces of military equipment, because people are so adept to using it, as a universal control.
Yeah, totally,
it is funny to think of that.
Setting people up to
It's almost
prepare.
It's like we may as well try and make use of all this gaming that people seem to enjoy.
Well, actually,
that is the CIA's job, though. I mean, I suppose if you're trying to manipulate and try and work out what people, how you can manipulate the public, the general public, by setting up a new program. So I'm a CIA director, and I've turned to you and I've said, right, I need a new program about manipulating the young kids, into I want to get them all trained up so we can manipulate them to be last starfighters, in the near future when they come inevitably coming down, right? So we need these kids trained up on these games, on these how to fly a fucking spaceship.
How to shoot a weapon.
You're like, right, well, what do the kids like these days? They like cartoons. Well, how can we do it? We've done that.
We do it 2D.
We did that in the 60s.
Yeah.
They like video games. And you develop something that's going to appeal to the youth of that time.
And it's going to be an issue as well.
And, like you say, it was so revolutionary, apparently they were queuing around the block.
Yeah. Well, there's also a sort of... It's not funny. I was going to say funny thing, but it's not that funny.
It's not that. I'll be the judge of that.
The Economic Forum, the chairman of the Economic Forum...
You're right, this isn't funny. Go on.
Yeah. He's trying to make everyone, rent stuff, and you're going to be happy about it and shit. Basically, the second-hand right-hand man of him is coming out, and it's been coming out for the last 6 months, saying that we're going to have an issue of there's going to be a lot of people who aren't going to be doing a lot of things, and what they are looking at is actually putting more people on computers to control you more, and they're actually opening up and saying this kind of thing about how
going to put a man on a computer and he's going to make. How's he going to control me from a computer?
No, control yes. You're going to be there enjoying that game. You're going to
start moving about, involuntary.
They're going to get into your head like they do with most games. Get into your head and go, right, this is brilliant. I can't wait to get home from work.
Well, it's
get
planting
back on
seeds, isn't it? It's planting ideas,
but
and it's like that's what you're saying about if you're living in an environment where the rules and ethics and your morals are totally different, and the way you survive and play this game in this world is totally
you're gonna
different.
Change yourself.
How does that not carry over when you start trying to live in a normal life? Yeah.
This is why they wanted to bring up rules about.
I think people
games.
I did read an article about COD players getting post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, Mike, you know what? Everyone that I see play the fucking game, I've done it myself. You're screaming for no reason.
Yeah, it's a game that makes people angry for no reason, and I think it's like the way I see it. The way I see it is, if I want to play video games for fun and enjoyment, I don't want to scream and get angry at my telly, and it's not an enjoyable experience.
No.
And especially with Call of Duty, I think I was playing
with other people. I think that's pissing people off.
I'm playing the better game because everyone's playing Fortnite, where they're doing the dancing and the stupid stuff. And they're introducing all these stupid cartoon characters like Wolverine and Deadpool and stuff. That Call of Duty was more of a war simulator. And again, could be potentially training people.
Well, look how many kids are playing
and desensitizing people.
Look how many kids
aren't supposed to be playing it. No. It's an 18.
GTA, the amount of under 6-year-olds who are playing it. It's an 18.
What I'm getting the point at is, could this be another tool? It's obviously very popular. Wouldn't the CIA want to get in on that?
Well, they already have.
Well, there you go.
They already have, haven't they? Really, with Nintendo.
And well, they're owned by Microsoft now, aren't they? Call of Duty. But the thing that killed it anyway, one of the things that's killed it, I mean, they've just introduced Snoop Doggy Dogg as a character, so, I've retired from that game, I think. That's what I did. There's another thing I did this week. I retired from COD, hung up my pad.
Yeah, well, you should join the club, man. Months, man. I think nearly a year I haven't fucking played on it.
Oh, good boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
There's better games out there.
Yeah, I mean, let us know if you think we missed it. I'm sure there's plenty more to this mystery.
Oh, yeah. I didn't tell you about the Xbox.
Oh, right, go on.
Yes,
what about the Xbox?
With the Xbox? Well, Xbox One, when it first came out, there was a thing called Xbox Voice.
Is this to do with Polybius, or is this another a different thing?
This is kind of...
Because I've got a little different thing as well, which is just computer game related.
Yeah, well, this was kind of strange. You tell me if it's...
you go on. Go ahead.
When it was lay idle, it would have ambient noise music behind it.
Are we talking about the Kinect?
Yeah, no, we're talking about the Xbox One, the first one.
Yeah,
Xbox.
But the voice thing was down to the Kinect, right? Because I had it, and you could give it voice commands. Yeah. And you could go Xbox on, and your Xbox would switch on, and it was always listening because it had to, because there was a little microphone in it, and it was listening out for commands.
Yeah, that's right.
So it made me think, this is listening in a lot. And I'd be watching something, or I'd speak, and it'd automatically just start whirring around like it was listening to me and being weird, and I ended up disconnecting my Kinect. If anyone else had this same problem where it was just my phone did it for a while, where Google was listening and I'd say something and it'd end up just doing a search, and I'd be like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, mine on my computer does it every 5 minutes. It's like, what the fuck? I'm not even asking you fucking anything.
That's because you've been going on some dodgy websites and you've got pop-ups.
Well, no, I don't have them no more.
Cleared them out. Those.
New laptop. Xbox One. Xbox, the first one, called Voice in 2001. It had an ambient noise coming on basically when it laid idle. But after a little time, it changed, and people were hearing, which they called it like channeling voices from the dead.
Yeah,
they
were like
spooky,
kind of like
talking,
chants.
laughing, like
some fucking absolute
shit.
What's it used to do? What was he called now? The never mind.
I don't know.
It'll come to me in a minute.
Okay.
But chanting to kind of like mediums.
Well, no, it was.
That's what I mean, mediums.
Yeah, it's sort of. But there was quite a few complaints about it. So they went to Microsoft, and Microsoft said it was actually public domain audio, and it ended up being
right. So what was it doing on the Xbox? So
because they connected it if it was idle to just
so it's just like elevator music.
Yeah,
but nobody knew what it was.
Yeah, and it was like weird like sounds, and it ended up being NASA's transmissions.
Okay.
Actually, from the Apollo missions, which were the ones who went to the moon.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. But it's still questionable. Why? Why have you put that on that? Why haven't you just chose something, like a little,
like a little calming melody
chilling,
or something? Because if you fall asleep often not and it's gone idle, then you'd like a bit of kind of
a little chill out
not
music.
Like fucking Buzz Aldrin going.
Yeah,
mission control.
Well, this is it, but it was like, why?
One small step.
Yeah. Well, none of that was put in. It was just all the, the sounds on the way there and on the way back.
Of the thrusters and stuff.
Yeah, it was just
sexy.
Just like you heard space, nothing.
Space stuff.
A little giggle here and there and shit, apparently. So, if anyone's got this sound, I believe you can get it.
I bet you can find it on YouTube. Yeah, I'll have a look for that.
There.
I'll find that very shortly.
Yeah, that was.
Well, there you go. Thank you. I thought that was interesting.
What was the one you?
Well, basically, do you know? This is just a little fun fact. But do you remember back in the day when we in the times when we used consoles?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and cartridge-based console games, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you used to have that problem where you put a game in and it wouldn't come on for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd take it out, and what would you do?
I'm blowing it.
Give it a blow. Yeah, you give it a big blow. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Get rid of all the dust.
Yeah, I know there's a bit shit in there somewhere.
Stick the cartridge back in and it'd work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Perfect.
Well, that's just an urban legend.
Is it?
Apparently so, because apparently what it is these consoles have a chip in it that used to trip. Yeah.
Okay.
And it meant that when you put your cartridge in, it would just inevitably get a black screen. You'd switch it off, take your cartridge out, put it back in, and it would work, right? But because we all did it, blew on your cartridge.
I remembered blowing on my cartridge.
Then it literally, you've got it in your head that's what it made it work.
Yeah, but sometimes it's got to have been that. On some occasions.
Maybe. No, well,
I haven't played it for fucking months, put it on the side, and then I've
you
just
saw those chips. They were like, the whole circuit boards, weren't they? Like a big chip inside a plastic case. Do you think that a bit of dust getting on one of those pins would have made the game not work?
Like I said, it depends how long you've been. You've had it.
I want to play a bit of Super Mario or GoldenEye.
You've been out of the country. Don't forget, it took a lot longer to go and do stuff back then. Than it does now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
so me GoldenEye might be gathering a bit of dust by the time I've come home.
So I've and it's maybe I've dropped a little liquid on there. So
I'm not saying, because I used to blow on me cartridges.
Yeah, I did.
And I always swore that was what made it work. You go, hey.
Yeah, but you must have tried it when you haven't blown it and put it in, and it hasn't worked, and you've gone.
Apparently, I don't know if you audience, if you
if
you believe that blowing on your cartridge actually does the job.
Ain't blowing on good stuff yet.
Yeah, I don't know. You let me know.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a promo. We've got a promo.
We have a promo.
And we'll play it for you right now.
Ooh, yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Laura.
And I'm Jo.
And we are the hosts of Crime Divers Podcast. We are Scottish sisters who tell each other true crime cases that other hasn't heard of.
New episodes are released every Tuesday, and you can find us on your favourite podcast platform.
So what are you waiting for? Grab your wetsuit and join us as we dive into the world of true crime.
But remember, watch out for those sharks!
Well, thank you for sending in your promo. You can do it too. All you've got to do is send us your promo over to neverstraightanswer@gmail.com, and you could be featured on the show. Well, we have got some news for you today, and without further ado, it's the news! And as always, we've scoured the World Wide Web to find you the best and the very latest news it's just been a weird week. Every week's a weird week. And, we try and find those weirdy bits.
Yes,
so
show and give you.
And as I said earlier, it has been 420 this week, which has sparked a few 420 weedy sort of stories.
Yes.
So, first story I found is a bit of a kind of a confusing social media tweet by the Denver council, I suppose. Right. Denver's basically, the city of Denver would like to remind you it is still illegal to smoke pot at a 420 festival.
In their state.
So they've promoted it. Yeah. They've allowed them to have it, but said it is still illegal.
It's still naughty to
So
have.
it made a lot of people think, am I allowed to do this?
Okay, I'm doing it
Questioning
anyway.
the legality.
Yeah. No.
A lot of people just did it anyway.
Yeah,
I think.
Exactly.
So yeah,
in their own homes.
I found this other story though as well. That it was a lorry had turned over, spilling 500 pounds of cannabis.
Oh, nice.
On an interstate during a 420.
Oh,
on 420. Troopers say. It's just littered all over the street. So, I mean, I should imagine some people might have picked it up.
That's a big question. Oh, yeah, guaranteed some people would have picked it up.
According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, the crash happened on Caldwell County, and said there was no serious injuries or anyone linked to the accident, or nobody was hurt in the accident.
And no weed left.
And as always, cannabis never killed anyone.
No.
You don't have to see this. You don't often see this every day, but it happened on 420. Highway Patrol posted on Twitter with a picture showing massive bags of cannabis covering the interstate.
You know most of that's going to be taken. Straight away, forget about
this
the
is
injuries.
it. Anyone driving past it be like, having one of them, open the door, throw a few
I'm
in.
throwing the fucking lot in the back as much as possible.
Did you see any 420 related stories?
I didn't, to be honest. No, because I
did
forgot
see another one though. Like I said, he
me.
was fighting at Hyde Park.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a bit
weird.
Was a bit
quiet,
but I suppose again, it's like people who go and they just think it's about weed, where it's not. It's about
harmony,
and peace. Yeah, everyone getting on.
Yeah,
and you know what it represents. Do you know what I mean? But
mixture of people.
Some people just are like immature.
Yes,
that's what that is.
That's true. Especially probably a bit of a drink.
Have you seen anything on the news? In the news,
I have Elon Musk on Twitter.
Elon Musk. He was going to buy it, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, he put a bid in for $41 billion.
Right.
They've refused it. So he's scraping together 46.5. He's now offering,
right,
to try and take it over. But the ones who've got shares are deciding to sell them shares at a lower cost, which because it's a sort of internal fighting. Basically, he's going for a
hostile takeover.
That's the one, and they're trying to stop it. They're trying to keep hold, but. Someone out of Twitter has been going on Twitter. Who was a part of the first
Elon
group.
goes on Twitter quite a lot, doesn't he? I mean, he was recently. We're talking about Elon Musk. He was slammed Bill Gates, called him the pregnant man emoji in a Twitter slam.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think he's right, because I kind of don't like Bill Gates no more.
I don't like Bill Gates no more.
Yeah, with half the stuff that's
going on. Song in there somewhere, isn't there?
Oh yeah, possibly. Dance routine as well.
I mean, in all the things you can do. I mean, slam Bill Gates.
Yeah, well, he can afford it, can't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, go on then, sue me, mate. I'll sue you back for whatever.
I found this story about, do you know, people being quite liberal.
Yeah.
And, what you can do at college. But there's a lot of people thinking about maybe going to college.
Yeah.
What they can do, maybe majoring, whatever the terminology is. And Utah College here are offering a course in analysing pornography.
Where do I sign up?
I knew you'd say that. In Utah, that's where you sign up. Like you say, Utah College.
To what?
I'm just trying to get my kid out of this hostile environment. Don't make me go back to my liberal city home with tales of bigotry and hatred out of Utah.
Porn.
What?
So they're there to analyse porn.
Analyse porn, yeah. Trends in porn, I suppose. Like what's hot right now? Ooh.
What's
like,
going to be the job?
Fake taxis are big right now. Fake minibuses next week.
Oh,
anything with fake
true.
on it.
Yeah.
Fake camping.
That's true. Yeah, because there's a lot of pornography online. So it's
a big business, isn't it? So I mean, analysing pornography, I could imagine is a big field. I suppose it's just market trends, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah,
everything's a business.
Would that be something you'd be still interested in?
Nah.
This sounds like work.
Yeah.
I thought you just. But I suppose there'd be a lot of research involved.
But no, I'm looking at it in the kind of psyche way of if you look at something, for far too long.
Like the CIA, just like desensitize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd be like,
oh, another pussy. Oh, another pussy.
Well, that's like, they say that about gynecologists as well, don't they? It's like,
Yeah, you get disinterested
you just be
in
like,
the thing you're working
I'm sick
on.
of seeing them. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone likes the pornography. No,
a little dabble.
Yeah,
So you're saying that's just it's kind of making a pleasurable thing work.
Yeah, I mean, if it were, if
well, you might be like an infomaniac or someone who might enjoy it, and then likes enjoying tracking the trends of what people are into at the moment.
Go for it, what I mean? It's like there's a job for everybody.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I like the way you put that. Have you seen anything else?
I've seen also right now Netflix are in problems.
They've been in problems for ages because they've always been in debt, I think.
Yeah.
So like all the money they've made from subscriptions is great, but they pump a lot of money into production.
Yeah.
So they're giving contracts to anyone who if it's develop a script.
Well, but I think they've gone a bit too far because over 200,000 customers have left them, which plummeted them in the shares massively by, I think it was about 5.8 billion.
I think Disney Plus have probably taken a lot of them customers, and I think this is what I was saying about being the problem is. People, there's so many choice and so much choice. It's like you can't afford them all, so
I'm glad
you have to sacrifice one to pay for another.
I'm glad you brought up Disney because they're in trouble too.
No, Disney forecast their debt for the next few years on it. They already knew that it was going to be a hole first.
Yeah, it's not about that. It's about their in Florida. They've been getting, tax relief here and there, and we do good business for you. You get people coming into this area, and we're not taxes off here and there.
Okay.
Do you a favour in that? Well, that's just being thrown away. As the governor has gone to court and taken out legal action, so they don't get any benefits, basically, because they were arguing. So
they've got to pay full tax.
Yeah,
as rich conglomerate.
I think there's going to be a little bit more that's going to happen to them as well on this. So they're about to.
Well, I mean, let's face it, Disney are shitting fucking Marvel money.
Well, yeah,
and fucking Star Wars money and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm pretty sure with all these box office smashes, they can afford to pay the taxes.
Yeah, if you put everything into one fucking big
Disney.
unit, it will blow up, and because they're not all suited to stay together. They might be run separately, but you're still going to have that connection to the middleman, and that's the middleman collapses.
The umbrella corporation, isn't it? Like where you have the Disney own Marvel, but Marvel operates as its own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Star Wars is its own thing.
For money. Yeah,
it's not a monopoly. You can't monopolise IP.
Yeah, let's soon see about that one. But so Netflix are in trouble, and so Disney. But I think a few more's going to hit Disney. I've got to say, because the Florida governor wasn't happy, and it was basically because of their disagreement about sex education within schools, because parents a couple of months ago were standing up saying, well, yeah, but they were turning around saying, you're serving these books that are saying certain things that they shouldn't be knowing now. I read that. Yeah.
But what's that got to do with Disney?
Because Disney put themselves in a position where they was I don't remember their quote, but they're basically saying no, they should be in there.
We agree with the other guys.
How it was. You don't need to change it, because you're earning fucking money out of it, probably. Disney book here and there, I'll teach you this, I'll teach you that.
Well, Disney are notorious for the Mouseketeers.
Yeah, it's business, isn't it? You know what I mean?
There's a conspiracy in itself.
Oh yes. Yeah. We've done
Walt Disney, but we've not done the Mouseketeers stuff.
That's
true. The kids of Disney who have they go off the rails and. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that's another
I found this story about vampires.
Oh, vampires? What?
Yeah, and beating a world record. Not real vampires, but hundreds of vampires have been invited to descend on North Yorkshire in May in a bid to set a new record. Whitby Abbey is organising the world's largest gathering of people dressed as vampires to mark the 125th anniversary of Dracula's first publication. They'll be like, I want to drink your blood.
First thing I was thinking, orgy.
Vampire, it might turn into a vampire orgy.
It might do, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, it could do.
That is very true. Yeah,
that's the first thing you thought of.
Yeah, because of the way the films portray vampires, as in
you do portray him as a bit randy, don't they? A little bit.
So if you get a load of him again,
but also bloodthirsty fucking
they'd be sucking each other off.
Creatures of the night that bite your neck. And sucking you off in the sense that they'll drink your blood.
Drink your blood, yeah.
Obviously, that's what you meant.
Yeah.
But they're looking forward to volunteers coming down dressing up as vampires on the 26th of May. It's going to be an exciting one.
What about their mortal enemy?
What, Stakes?
And Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, he's not invited.
Yeah, but now you've told him, he's going to end up turning up, isn't he?
Not with the amount of vampires these guys are trying to get in one place. Maybe it's an uprising.
That's true.
And they're using the world record attempt as a fucking ruse to try and blag us, just so they can get away with having a big gathering of vampires. Who knows?
Hey, jammy bastard!
If you go in, let us know. If you think that you're going to vampire up and get down there to Whitby Abbey. Whitby Newtown Leisure Centre.
If there's any bread and breakfasts around there.
Yeah, maybe.
They are full.
They're full of vampires.
Oh, yeah. I better take some garlic then.
It's like there'll be people showing up with puncture wounds and in Whitby.
Yeah.
For weeks after.
There'll be probably real ones there who were like, I want a nibble.
I was stopping in the hotel and I just met this guy. He was a vampire.
So nibbled on his neck.
Right. We're moving on.
We are. Well, have you seen this week, I believe it may have been either Tuesday or Wednesday, the Queen was 96. She had her birthday.
There was a photo that she took with two horses.
Yeah.
And it looked almost fairy. It looked like sort of fairy tale. It was a nice photo.
Yeah.
But, there was a rumour, there was a conspiracy theory going around saying that she's not been alive for a while. I know, and that she's, they've just been trying to...
Mandela effect.
No, they've just been trying to kind of string it out. They're going to tell us, but they want to string it out until she's her jubilee, so she was the oldest running monarch.
She already,
do you know what I mean?
She already is. That record,
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but that's why it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, Charles can't wait to jump into that frog.
Oh, he can't he?
So he'll be the first one going, hold on, no, she's been gone a long while ago.
I kind of felt like they was going to skip Charles.
I hope they do. To be honest,
it's William, isn't it? William's of age where he's a mature man. I think he could handle the job and you get a few years out of him.
Yeah, I think.
Do you know what I mean? Rather than passing it to Charles and then having to pass it to William in a few years.
But I don't think Charles is going to let that happen. I think Charles is going to go, right, here's the deal.
It's my birthright. Oh.
When my mum's dead, I take the crown. For a couple of weeks or a couple of months, maybe a couple of years.
So I can say I was the king.
Yeah, exactly. And then even half an hour, I'll throw the crown on my head Half an hour, yeah. Right, this, that, and the other, right.
I'm the king. I want my kingly pancakes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then, you know.
Right, I've had enough of being the king now. Yeah, I will.
Because we all know he wants to be king, you know what I mean? And if he was a younger lad, he would be.
He is that the Lion King.
But don't trust his judgment.
And he is like he walks around the grounds with a little a warthog.
Yeah, I've got a car that goes on
a warthog and a meerkat.
Yeah,
singing that song.
Yeah, it's like, and I don't like the fact that he's in with the Economic Forum as well. The World Economic. Yeah, I know. But there's a load of leaders that have been apparently.
I don't know.
Yeah. Have you got anything?
I got plenty. Oh, mate, this is a harsh reality.
What?
This one. And I mean, I'm sorry if you're squeamish.
Look away now.
Then maybe look away now. But this is a story about a baby who was born with 2 penises.
Oh,
he's a lucky guy, right?
Bastard.
No.
Why?
He's had to have one removed.
Oh,
and the doctors have chosen to take the larger one.
No.
It's insult to injury, isn't it?
Oh, I'm saying
the child was from Brazil, and he was one of he's rare infant to have a second appendage.
Yeah.
It's been removed and documented in a new medical journal. So it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But like I say, you know,
you're going to be pissed at.
Why? I mean, obviously the bigger one would have been the more fully formed one, and the second one grew in after. Why get rid of the normal? The one you should have had.
Might be like,
I shoulda, woulda, coulda.
It might be through the same hole, but like a route.
So. It doesn't bear thinking about.
No, it doesn't. But
poor kid.
Yeah, definitely poor kid. He had the big one chopped off, unless it was like a baby's arm.
I know, mate, it was going to cause him problems.
Big.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't like to speculate on it, but
yeah, he might be all right.
Let's hope he is.
Let's hope he is. Yeah. Good luck, young lad.
Well, I've got a bit of NASA news, but I'm just having a look, see if there was any other stories. Come on.
You heard about Big Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson.
Yes. Battered some fucker on the plane for annoying him.
Really?
Yeah. This week, someone, his mate was filming it, and he was annoying him.
Would be one. Why was he filming it? That's going to be rather a publicity stunt, really.
Well, he got his right in the face a number of times, man. I mean, when the camera turned round and pointed at him, he was like proper beefing into the fella. But the fella deserved it for being that annoying, because at first when he come up, he was like, "Can I have a selfie?"
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, sweet, no probs." But then he was behind him all the time, annoying him, standing over him, telling him this, that, and the other. Oh, you don't mean shit, blah blah, this, that, and the other. And it's like, what the
Mike
fuck?
Tyson's obviously not like that, and he's caused a kerfuffle.
Yeah, so he just got up and give him a little slap. Well, big slap actually.
What is it with celebrities thinking that they can go around slapping people?
I know, and actually today was the first day that what's the name, Will Smith has actually been seen since the slap.
Wow, has he been in hiding?
Yeah,
Slapgate.
So he's out now. Well, his missus is going on Facebook with her own channel, the Red Table, and apparently they're going to bring a shitload of stuff out.
Okay.
Apparently.
Oh, yeah. Right. So this seems to be kind of exploding into a bit of a feud, really, or some sort of domestic.
Well, they reckon that there's loads of little tensions.
Or a really horrible divorce in the making.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know.
Possibly.
I mean, talking about publicity stunts, because you never know with these things. They all could be publicity stunts.
Oh, yeah.
There is a story here about a YouTuber.
Yeah.
He's basically had his pilot's license taken off him.
Oh, wow.
I think it's called Trevor Jacob. He's a Daredevil YouTuber who posts videos of himself doing Daredevil-y type stuff.
Yeah.
But last year, he parachuted out of a plane he claimed had malfunctioned, let it crash, and he parachuted off. It landed in the north forests of Southern California.
Ooh.
And he ended up getting a letter from the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, that said he'd violated federal aviation regulations, and he basically was careless, recklessness, putting people's lives in danger.
Could have started a fire in them forests over there.
And as a result, he's had his license taken off him.
Good.
So he's not allowed to fly any more planes. But
right.
It's like, was that a legit thing where his planes malfunctioned, or was it all a big YouTube plot that he wanted to do it for a video? We thought it'd get a lot of views. Watch me bail out of a plane because my plane malfunctions. That's content. Do you know what I mean?
True.
So, or was it legit? I mean, he's let that plane crash as he's bailed off, but it's all very cinematically shot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you've got to ask. You do have to ask.
If he earns out of it, probably more dodgy than he.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, do you think they were a bit harsh on him for taking away his license?
No, I think they should fine him as well. Make him get rid of the wreckage.
Totally.
I'd actually check the wreckage out to see if the wreckage.
Where did it land? I mean, obviously it landed in a forest, but I mean, there's wildlife and all sorts.
Oh yeah,
mountain bikers, walkers, canoers,
and like
gold panners.
Fires easily started over there. There's lots of fires by just little
woodsmen.
Things. Yeah.
Lumberjacks. Lots of people out in the forest.
Yeah.
Squirrels.
Don't forget I was just thinking of squirrels.
Don't forget the animals.
Yeah.
How could we forget the animals?
Yeah.
That's it for my normal news. I do have some UFO news.
I got a couple here, and then I got some NASA news. I will start off with, have you heard the new rumours of the new Doctor Who?
No.
Possibly.
Go on.
And it's a repeat.
A repeat? No.
Yes.
Is it going to be Matt Smith?
No.
David Tennant?
Yes.
Really? I could see that
rumours
happening.
going round that David Tennant's going to be the next Doctor Who.
I could kind of handle that because basically they do need something to kind of bring it back, and he was a popular Doctor. They did say in one of the episodes, and he said, you might even end up revisiting some old favourites.
Yeah, but it'd be a record as well because he'd be the first one to actually come back as himself.
Yeah, as the Doctor.
Unless he gets a bit of a change, like maybe. I mean, is it possible that he could come back as an alien, some kind of alien in like some kind of outfit?
I don't know, like prosthetics.
Well, he's not earthly. Yeah, he's not earthly.
Yeah,
but I mean,
maybe that regeneration's only kind of
well, he's not a Time Lord either now, is he?
For his for that sort of form, if you like, you'll regenerate in a humanoid form.
Yeah, but he's not a Time Lord either, is he? He's more.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that, changing the law and all that.
If it's a part of the story that's been put out, it's a part of the story
if
that's
it's
been
canon.
put out. Yeah, so he could come back.
Let's see what happens. I'd like to see that. That'd be interesting. So and he's a favourite of mine. So 100%, I'm on board. Do that, Chipnell or whoever runs the show these days.
Yeah, because she has to go, man. She has to go. Even
well,
though
I think it was she's had a run. She was the Doctor.
Yeah,
let's see what's next now. I think
they were hardly on. I don't know how many episodes they've done with her.
They're very sporadic.
My last story is the French election this Sunday tomorrow, which is Le Pen v Macron, which it very possible that Le Pen may win.
Okay.
Which puts Europe in a bit of a problem.
Why?
It might put us in a little bit of a problem. Well, business is normal if Macron gets in because he's doing what he's doing now.
Yeah, but that's the same with anybody changing hands in Parliament. But at the end of the day, it's like just because the economy might be running a bit better because with this guy in charge, how do you know someone else won't do a better job? Or, sort out the other problems rather than just focus on the economy and the business side of it?
Because she's the daughter of the far right, or used to be the far right. And then she was in them kind of views, but now she's kind of it's still far right, but centralised a little bit. So she's been she's gotten all the younger votes.
I don't know all. Well, if she's got people,
and he got all the older votes, basically. So she got the 30s and 40s, 50s, the 60s, 70s, and 80s went to him, but they're both now going to try and get the younger votes.
You see, the thing is, it's like old people vote.
They go to her.
Old people vote. They go out in record numbers.
But young people are trying to get in the votes as well now. Especially over the
can they outvote the old people?
Well,
let's see.
Well, there's more.
See, with the French, I mean, it's like, how can the French affect Europe so much, really?
Because it was France and Germany that started it up, and they're the strong economies in Europe. They're the ones who basically...
that can only affect Europe, because, I mean, at the end of the day, aren't the UK out of the European Union now? Then, so,
Well, we're supposed to be, but we're not. We're supposed to be. So there's still stuff to be dealt with.
Love the French.
Especially the people, not the politicians.
No, not the politicians. The people are awesome.
Aren't they? The politicians over
like that whole Yellow Jacket Revolution thing was awesome. I found a couple of UFO stories. UFOs being repeatedly spotted and filmed by numerous people in Texas.
Good.
Citizens are baffled. Why? It's UFO.
Yeah.
Especially if you're recording it, you should be able to go, there you go.
Yeah, you're not saying it's a spaceship, you're just saying it's a UFO.
So UFOs have been recently spotted. Numerous residents in Hay County in Texas. This is the first time this has happened in the area, and they're trying to work out why.
Well, keep your eyes out. It's happening everywhere. It's just a case of spotting it at the right time.
Well, why? Well, but there are hot spots, and this area's never had any sort of activity before, and all of a sudden they're getting loads.
Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Hayes County.
Yeah, it might not have. They might not have seen anything, but there's definitely been a lot of activity around Texas.
Well, one witness captured a video of a UFO, and says that they saw it back in January. They just walked out and saw a strange light in the sky. They told Fox 7 in Austin back then.
Yeah.
I was looking around for planes, and there it was.
There it was in the sky.
There it was. So,
did the right thing. Filmed it and
told the news.
Yeah. That's it. Spread it out.
Saw a UFO.
The more and more that they come out, they can't which they've had to come forward and actually start telling us home truths here and there.
This is another one, and this is in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
So this is mysterious. Mystery as multiple people spot UFOs soaring over the skies. In baffling footage. One man filmed a UFO flying over Lincolnshire. He was not the only one to spot the bizarre phenomenon, as several others reported seeing a strange white light moving quickly across the sky.
Good, more people see it.
So there seems like multiple sightings from multiple places around the world.
And they used to say there was no such fucking thing.
And there's a few quotes here. So a freelance video editor, Anthony Hockner, 31, filmed the fast-moving object near his home in Mulberry, near Lincolnshire, around 8:45 on Thursday, April 21st.
Good.
He described the UFO as a white light, sort of like a cloud or smoke at the front, which seemed to be travelling towards the coastline.
That sounds a bit strange.
I saw a cloud moving pretty fast.
I've seen them where they've spread stuff out. From
like
the
mists.
rear. Yeah, but nothing like in front and that. Well, that's
maybe
a bit
it's a
strange.
new type. Maybe it's government technology.
Probably.
Who knows?
More than likely.
Well, someone might know, rather the aliens or the government.
Both.
Or both.
Yeah. I'd say both. Well, I got two on Elon Musk again.
Oh, right, okay. What's the Techno King doing?
Techno King's just stated that his new Tesla robot factories are going to make more money than his car ones.
What, we're going to all have, like, robots?
Yeah, he's
like butlers?
He's putting a lot of eggs into a lot of baskets.
He is, isn't he? It's like one of them's going to work.
Well, he's the richest man in the world, isn't he? So.
Well, there was talk about his cars, and because there's a lot more companies investing in electronic cars.
Yeah, he's moving on kind of thing, isn't it?
Well, no, it's like he hasn't got the product range in the sense that the newer models are coming out that are just going to be better than Tesla's, maybe. Yeah.
Teslas look shit as well.
They've been putting a lot of trying to play catch up.
Very, very true.
And,
very true.
you know, so are Tesla planning on bringing out more, or is that it? Like you say, is he moving on from that and going, well, I do space travel now?
I think he's going to keep the business and, like, you know, keep bringing out
He'd have to bring out a new car designs
well,
and you know, sort of like advances on that. Advancements. I didn't like his truck. A lot of people did.
I think he's going to put more effort into like SpaceX and robots.
You want to check out the low res car as well. If you Google the low res car,
weird looking fucking thing. Nah.
Yeah, that reminds me of Tesla's truck.
I think he's thinking more of space, more stuff he can do with space with robots than he can do with, you know, the human being.
Fair enough.
And his second one, talking about SpaceX, Booster 7, which recently is his super heavy booster, has just gone undergoing tests. And the first test is...
Oh, it exploded, didn't it?
There's leaks of photos of the booster with inside, which looks like there is seriously inside damage into the booster.
Right, okay. Because, but this is the thing with this sort of... you know, when they say... Oh, it's not rocket science.
It is.
Yeah. Well, this is.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can't get it right. You do your maths, and if sometimes it blows up, sometimes it's damaged, sometimes it goes off without a hitch.
You've got to have accidents to have
exactly for successes. Yeah. But SpaceX, they're doing a lot of things like you say.
Yeah.
SpaceX and NASA have had to delay the undocking of the private AX-1 astronaut crew at the space station, though.
Right.
So I don't know, are they just floating about, waiting to dock?
Yeah, it looks like...
It's the world's first all-private crew to the International Space Station.
Oh, yeah.
And,
things are starting to go a bit wrong.
And they started orbiting the lab, right? But because of bad weather, it presented... basically, they couldn't really undock, or they couldn't do a planned undocking. So they've had to kind of reschedule it.
For when next time it gets to the right angle.
Well, they just should have done it by now, because they said it was going to happen on Saturday the 23rd. And
today?
Yesterday. Yesterday now.
Yeah.
But obviously, it depends if this is America as well. It could be happening right now.
Very true. That's
do you know what I mean?
True.
Time zones, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, so Space X Dragon carrying 4 men crew due to high winds and splashdown at the splashdown site off the coast of Florida. They had to kind of
cancel it, waiting for the weather to get a lot better.
Yes.
That global warming, that's what they're going to blame.
That's what they'll say.
Yeah.
Have you anything else? Because I've got one more big story.
Right.
Go for it. Now, this is a big story.
Oh, big.
I've been saving this one to the end, right?
Have you? All right.
Because it's the saying now, a recent study has found evidence of life on Mars. Now, the bold claims, honestly, 100% honest to God, a recent study claims that it's found evidence of a mushroom-like form on the surface of Mars. It happens that these particular features that have been discovered by the cameras and the rovers, Opportunity.
Is it yellow? Are they yellow?
Well, they're kind of just like mushroom type fucking thing. Yeah, they look like fungus, right?
Yeah.
They basically said that they thought that they found them back in 2004 when shortly after the Opportunity landed.
Right.
Yeah. But at first, they didn't think anything of it, right? But it ended up that on the old tracks of the rover, spores started to grow on the tracks.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
So because it had been rolling around on the surface, it's picked up the spores, right? Well, this is what they think, right? And it's an area that on imagery that they retrieved from Mars, it was saying that they'd see dark patches, that had appear over one period of the year and then disappear later on. And they wondered what it was, right? Yeah. And it turns out that it could be this fungus or an algae or some sort of kind of fungi-related organism.
That is very interesting.
is interesting, but there is also another theory that says that we might have took it up there on one of our missions, like one of these spores might have attached to a bit of equipment, and it's ended up thriving in the environment.
Was my second thought, I must
admit. Could we have already fucked up Mars? Right, but if we're going to terraform it anyway, is that not just one of the first steps?
Yeah, but we don't know the effects. But then again, we don't know the effects.
Or it could be, or potentially it could be native. So,
it'd be interesting if it is, because then, realistically then, if it was on the planet, with the amount of tornadoes, and these are like 300 mile an hour fucking tornadoes going round, they could blow them around, so you can get to areas. So they should have been spawning. So why? What actually is affecting them on sporing? That's the interesting bit.
Well, they're saying that they don't think they're actually living organisms, but like, how can they not be if they're mushrooms?
Well, yeah, exactly.
They're saying a sphere-shaped pieces of rather minerals or something.
That's more than likely. But then what they're going to have to do is just pick it up, pick a piece, and test it.
This is it. There's a couple of options. So they say that they could be minerals, it could be mushrooms. They don't know if it's organic or living, but it's an option. There's a lot of evidence to say that this could be like a spore or a mushroom or fungus.
Well, NASA has
especially because of the times it's appearing and disappearing, at different parts of the year. Well, natural changes in weather and life cycles, I suppose. If there's a patch, it's like our woodlands. It's like when we get to autumn, everything starts to decompose a bit more in the woods. Yeah. So you get more fungus and more life. If there's a cycle on these mushrooms, you get the dark patches where it's thriving in maybe the summer on Mars, and then when it gets to a colder point, they all die off, and that's why they disappear, that dark patch. So who knows?
Possible.
I mean, like I say, we'll keep an eye on it, because it potentially is life on Mars.
Yes.
And even if it is like a fungus. And
NASA has said that they reckon within 20 years they're going to find something. They reckon minute, but they're not going to find, like a four-legged bloody animal or anything.
Well, they're saying as well, they might have found as well, like a little worm type thing. This is another thing. Looking at with the microscopes, So they've used the microscope, and they said that there's something that resembled a microscopic like worm.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But that might just be like something from billions of years ago, like a fossil.
Yeah, they need to do more tests, I think. And it's about time, because they've had that rock for fucking years, for at least 10 years.
Anyway,
you know what I mean?
Right, well, there you go. That's your news.
That's it.
I think that's the show.
It is indeed.
Well, if you've had any comments or suggestions, or you've got anything that you'd like to add, you feel free to send us a message. We're very approachable.
We are indeed.
Yes. I'm sorry, I've been feeling a bit off this episode. I think I've got a bit of a cold coming on or something, so I do apologise if you've been coughing in the background. But I hope it's not affected our friendship.
Yeah, no.
Please come back. Don't leave us.
Yes.
I'll be your best friend. Anyway, I've enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
It's been interesting. That game though, I think the CIA have got a lot to answer for. Let us know your thoughts. I'm interested to hear what you guys have an opinion. If you've got anything you would like to add, or a detail that we can we can come out and tell people next week. Give you full credit. We're not like that. We're not going to credit
CIA dossiers,
egomaniacs.
Send them over.
Yeah. If you got any dossiers.
Yeah, if you got any dossiers, throw them over with.
Have you got the dossier?
And I'm not scared to spread the word.
Yeah, well, you can send us an email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. You can hit us up at Twitter at NASA_never. On Instagram.
Yes.
Did they say Instagram? Or we're on Twitter at never_never, NASA_never, and Instagram at never_straight_answer.
We're bloody everywhere, mate.
Just give us a Google. You'll find us.
We're definitely there.
Yeah, first few pages on the Google machine. Yeah. Website neverstraightanswer.co.uk.
And you can find us on every platform.
And we're available wherever you get your podcasts. So why not subscribe and convince your friends.
Or even a stranger.
Jinx.
Yeah. Yeah, Jinx. Oh, yeah.
I get to punch him in the arm now. Sweet. I'll do that in a minute. So, yeah, feel free to get in touch.
Yep.
We're all the usual stuff's on the website. We'd love for you to go and check that out.
Yeah.
If you want to join us on the Facebook community,
do
that because we do post a lot of stuff on there. So you might appreciate it and might enjoy it. And we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Hope you have a good one. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
Peace.
Out. Yeah.